G'day, welcome back to the channel. I've got the DR out again here today. I'm going to go on a bit of a ride next week that's going to stretch the fuel capacity of this stock fuel tank. So I'm going to put the Service 25 litre tank on. So we're going to take the side panels off, take the seat off. We're going to remove the tank bag and the fuel tank, and we're going to fit the newer Service one and put the seat back on and get him all going again. So enough of me jibber jabbering on, let's go make some noise. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove this fuel line off the carburetor, and I'm going to drain what's left in the fuel tank, drain all the fuel out, and then we can start removing stuff. What we need to do is we need to turn the fuel tap around to PRI, which stands for prime, which will allow the fuel to flow out of this type of fuel tap. It has to have the engine running before fuel will flow, so if we put on PRI, all the fuel that's in the tank will flow out regardless of whether the engine's running or not. We can see she's filling up slowly. On the trip home from my last ride, I rode it all the way out with it on, and then when it ran out of fuel the first time, I switched it over to reserve and come the rest of the way home on reserve. So there should only be a litre or so in the bottom of this tank that we're trying to drain out now into our little drain container. When this fills up, I will go and empty that into my mower fuel tin, and then we'll come back and do it again. Rightio, that looks like that's empty now. This is the toolkit I carry on the bike. Probably not a bad idea to get it out. Make sure that all the spanners and the sockets that you've got fit the bike correctly. Because if we do have a breakdown, this is what we're going to be using to fix the bike. A really great tip I got from another YouTube channel called Cross Training Enduro, when he was playing with his DR, was to remove these little metal inserts out of the fuel tank rubbers, because once you lift the fuel tank off, nothing holds those in, and they can fall down into the bike, or they can fall down into the yard or wherever you're working on it and get lost, roll away, get lost. So grab them two little metal inserts out. One of the things we have to do is get all the way in here and remove this vacuum line for that vacuum petcock for the carby. Then we should be right to remove the stock fuel tank. So all the way in here, that's where I removed that vacuum hose from, so I've got to block this port off, otherwise that carburetor is going to suck air through there, and I don't want that. So I'm going to have to go and get a block and plug for that, or a bit of hose, and then with something in the end of it to block it off. So whilst I'm in here with the carburetor exposed, I want to turn this inlet for the carburetor around a little bit to suit the lower position of the new fuel tank. I've tried to turn it once before, so you'll see it's on a little bit of an angle, which really helped a lot with the scavenging in the stock tank, but I want to turn that around a little bit further. So I think I've got that all the way turned around now without kinking it. So hopefully that will give us a clear shot to the new fuel tank tap. From this point I launch into some carburetor modifications to try and improve the fuel economy on my DR. These are not necessary for the fuel tank install, so I think I'll add them in another video, and I'll add the link in the comments and add a card to this at a later date. While I'm here, I'm going to block this vacuum line off that used to go to the old petcock, the old fuel tap. So to do that, I'm just going to use a bit of clear Silastic, and I'm just going to cover over the top of the hole to block it off. Just something like that, and then I'm going to get another cap later on and I'll slide over the top of that. Then I'm just going to rotate him back up into his standard position. The two clamps back up. One of the things I recommend with this big tank is that we get another one of these rubber bumpers and we mount it up a little bit further. So this is that bumper off another frame I've got down the shed. I've even managed to salvage the cable tie, so hopefully we can reuse that. And then I'm just going to mount him on here. Just like that, and then I'll trim this cable tie down a little bit more, and hopefully that will hold the top of the 25 litre fuel tank. So I think we just have to remove this guard here from off this bracket, and then we should be able to get the big tank on. And voila, off she comes. So this here is how your 25 litre of service tank comes to you. It's all wrapped up in this big plastic bag. Comes all wrapped up with a new petcock and some instructions. Looks like these indicators are going to hit as we turn the forks around, so I'm going to have to remove these brackets, and I think we can swap them from side to side is what they're saying online, and that'll lift these indicators up higher so they don't hit. Give this a quick wash out inside, make sure there's no manufacturing residue left inside of it. I've seen some of these online where the people have washed them out and they've come out with a whole heap of plastic and shavings and stuff like that. So we will use that bit of fuel that we had in the tin. We'll pour it in here and we'll give this a quick wash out. Righto, now that we've got him cleaned out, first job is to wipe all the fuel residue off around this hole and then put the fuel tap in. I don't know how good a colour choice white was because it seems to show up every single mark in the entire tank. So this is the instructions that I've got. It doesn't give me any words, it's just a couple of pictures that say slide the tap up and then slide the screws up. Obviously I'm going to do them up, but it doesn't really tell me how, so I'm just going to grab a little spanner because I can't get a socket on this side. Might just grab a little spanner and see if we can do them up like with that. These heads here are an 8mm, so it's an 8mm spanner, and they're going in nice and easy. So we'll just do them up so they're nice and firm, gentle. We don't want to strip them, so only just firm. Then I'm going to go with these rubber bumpers. Which don't go in from the bottom, they go in from the top. It says here rubber thing, a sleeve, then a washer, and then the bolt. So these must be the sleeve. Then the washer and the bolt. Just like that. Let's see if she'll fit back up on there. Righto folks, there you go, we've got that fuel tank all mounted up, ready to rock and roll. Stay tuned for episode 2 where we come back and finish off all the little extra bits that go with mounting that new fuel tank, and then we'll take it out for a quick test ride. Thanks for watching.